The day after my 21st birthday started out as the worst day ever. And I know what you're thinking, oh, she was hungover, and I totally was. But that was not the worst part. The worst part is when I went to the cupboard to get out some breakfast, my box of Cocoa Puffs was empty. Now, I guess when I had put it back the last time, I hadn't checked the bag. The bag was just shoved into the box as if to suggest that there were still Cocoa Puffs in the bag. But there weren't. I looked. There was nothing. And I just stood there staring into this empty box, trying to force myself not to cry. Now, I know it sounds like I'm making it kind of a big deal, but it kind of was. I mean, I guess you could say I am just crazy for Cocoa Puffs. You gotta understand, my mom never let me have sugary cereal growing up. I mean, if I got cereal for breakfast at all, it was puffed rice. Have you ever had puffed rice? It is rice filled with air. It does not get more bland than that. And my whole entire childhood was just this wasteland devoid of sugary goodness. Well, not my entire childhood. On my 15th birthday, my mom took me grocery shopping. Fun, right? And maybe it was because it was my birthday, or maybe it was because I was 15, I was a little bit uncooperative. So when we got to the breakfast food aisle and my mom made a beeline for the muesli, I just stood there drooling over the fruit and chocolate and rainbow flavored cereals that had teased me with their existence my entire life. I was so entranced by the colorful cartoon characters I'd never tasted that I didn't even notice my mom sneak up beside me. Go ahead. I turned to look at this woman standing uncomfortably close to me. I mean, she looked like my mom, but she was talking like Dirty Harry. Go ahead. Get one. For real? I was 15, I could ask intelligent questions. Yes, but just one, and just this once. I was so excited, I actually hugged her. The sugar rush was kicking in already. The next morning, I woke with a smile on my face. That, literally never happens. I ran out to the kitchen. I threw open the cupboard. I poured myself the biggest, the baddest bowl of Cocoa Puffs you have ever seen. And was it the most delicious bowl of cereal ever? Why, yes, it was. It was so delicious that when I was done eating the cereal, I drank the chocolatey delicious milk left at the bottom. I mean, who does that? I certainly never had, not with leftover puffed rice milk. I still don't know what had gotten into my mom. I know what had gotten into me. Sugar, and lots of it. It was glorious. That was the best day ever. I don't remember the details of my mom leaving for work that night. I have tried. I remember I was reading a book I never finished when she came into my room and said something. I maybe grunted. I maybe said, I love you. I hope so. Mom worked weird hours, so I was used to going to bed without her. I was not used to being woken up in the early hours of the morning to a blue light silently circling the walls of my bedroom. I didn't go out to the living room right away. Somehow, I knew I should stay in my bed as long as possible. Stay the person I had been when I had gone to sleep the night before. When I went out to the living room, the cops had gone. My dad was sitting on the couch alone, crying. I sat down next to him, and when he stopped crying enough to talk, he told me. An accident, he said. Mom had died instantly, he said. And I don't know if that's true. I think dads kind of have to say that. But I don't want to know if it was a lie. I've never bought a box of Cocoa Puffs. I had just been eating a little bit every year, the day after my birthday. A little bit parsed out over the years from that one box. A little bit to remind me of the best day of my life, to remind me a little bit of my mom. And then, the day after my 21st birthday, there was nothing left. And I stood there staring into the empty box, trying not to cry. I don't know how long I would have stood there if my dad hadn't broken the silence. All gone? He asked, real casual, and I looked at him dumbfounded, are you really asking me that? And then he said, you could always eat something else. And I didn't throw the box at him, and I didn't scream. This was the last thing she gave me. I just stared at him, not able to see him anymore through the tears that had finally started to fall. Instead, I saw myself just standing there in the kitchen crying into an empty cereal box. I saw the years of stale cereal. I saw the irony of honoring my mom's memory by eating the last thing she probably would have wanted me to eat in her memory. And I saw my mom, the final clear memory I have of her smiling at me in the breakfast aisle as she allowed me this one box. Probably, honestly, in the hopes that it would forestall all future sugar cravings and not lead to a lifelong obsession with Cocoa Puffs. And I saw the absurdity of it. So I put the empty box back in the cupboard. I didn't have the strength to throw it out. Not that day. And my dad, real casual placed a bag of puffed rice in my hands. And I laughed like I knew he wanted me to. And when he asked if I was okay, I said yeah, and I kind of meant it. The day after my 21st birthday started out as the worst day ever. But by the end of that day, it was just a little bit more like any other day. And I still think about my mom almost every day, and especially on the day after my birthday every year. I love thinking about her, remembering her, feeling like she is with me. But I gotta say, it is real nice to not have that feeling anymore when I'm thinking about what to eat for breakfast.